Shut up and sit down.
Hello, my friend. You are listening to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, the #1 place for innovative marketing, retention strategies, and business growth ideas made just for dance studio owners. Now, this isn't your average business podcast. We're here to shake things up, simplify the hustle, and focus on real, actionable insights. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, and after 30 years of running studios, coaching owners, and scaling businesses, I know one thing's for sure. There's no one size fits all in this industry. You've got the passion, and I've got the tools to help you take it to the next level. So hit that subscribe button, grab a coffee, and let's scale your studio together. It has been a while since I have hopped on this podcast and spoken about getting more students, increasing enrollments. So today we're diving back in. We are going to be talking enrollments, but more specifically, why more marketing might not be the solution you think that it is. Because I hear this from studio owners consistently. If I could just get more students through the door, things would be so much easier. If my class sizes were bigger, everything would run smoother. But here's the thing. Sometimes getting more students isn't about pushing harder or creating more marketing content. Sometimes what's really holding you back is hiding in plain sight. It's hiding in your systems, your messaging, your follow-up, and sometimes even your mindset. So in this episode, I'm going to dive into what's really stopping your enrollment growth and then how to fix that. So, and I just want to say, this is not a diss on marketing because marketing is absolutely essential, but I'm just saying sometimes if the other stuff aren't in alignment before we do the marketing, then that's where everything's falling through the cracks. And it's easy then to blame the marketing. But let's talk about some ways before that sit underneath the marketing. Okay, we're going to start with messaging. So if I asked you to describe your studio in one sentence, a clear, compelling, and specific, could you do it? Because here's where many studio owners go wrong. And they say things like, we're fun and inclusive, or we're just like a family. And this is beautiful, like for sure, it's lovely, but it's now not enough. So 10, 15 years ago, that was enough because the parents were happy with that. But now that's pretty much the messaging across most studios that you come across. So your ideal students' parents are not just looking for fun. They want to know more. They want to know, will their child be safe? Will they be seen? Will they actually progress? Your messaging, if it's too generic or if it's trying to appeal to everyone, then you're likely going to repel the very families that you want. So try this. Look at your website or your socials and ask yourself, does this speak to my ideal student? Is it clear what makes us different to all the other studios around us? And is there a strong call to action? So you need to be telling your ideal family, your perfect family that will suit your studio, what you want them to do next. So even one small tweak to how you describe your programs or present your studio can make a huge difference in conversions. So that's the first one. Now, next up is the actual enrollment system or the process. Because the marketing is the beginning, it gets their attention. But what happens next is what actually gets them in the door. So here's the question. When a parent messages your studio, reaches out, emails, messages, leaves a Facebook message, however you're getting all your info, how fast do they get a reply from you? So again, it was always, for me, like within 24 hours, I had to reply. And that was just a personal thing that I did. And then as I handed on to my staff members who were then replying to emails, it was these people need to be emailed back straight away. If a phone message was left, if I wasn't teaching in the classroom or it got past 8 o'clock, they were being called back within that day. And the amount of people that would say to me, thanks so much for calling me back. I've left messages with 5, 10 other studios and you're the only one who's got back to me. And that blows my mind. And that's also actually just a side note as well. getting back on the phone is going to make you stand out at the moment. So again, we're always looking for ways to stand out from other dance studios. Get on the phone and speak to people. Send them a message. If you think they're not going to answer, send a message saying, "Hi, it's Jen from Jigsaw Dance. I'm about to give you a call in regards to an inquiry that you asked about for the dance classes for your daughter." Send them that text, and then 5 minutes later, give them a call. If you can get them on the phone and have a conversation, your conversion rate is going to be so much faster. The connection is going to be built so much quicker. Anyway, that was a little side note. Let's get back to how fast you're replying to inquiries. And what does that reply actually do? So if you are sending through a "thanks, we'll get back to you soon" message with no real clear steps, you're probably going to lose them, or someone else is going to jump in and they'll keep heading down that line because they've been given a clear direction of what to do next, or they get a phone call back. Parents today, they expect quick, clear, and easy. I say parents today, I'm exactly the same. And I would hazard a guess that you are as well. Things are just happening faster. We want answers to questions fast. So do they. So here's a better approach. Having instant auto responses or automated emails when they book a trial for an info session. A follow-up SMS with a warm welcome. A simple form that collects the right information. If you're doing it through Facebook and you have a form, or you're setting up a Google form, make sure it's collecting the right info. And have pre-written, "Here's what to expect" emails before their trials. This is just like a really scraping off the top of touch points. But whether they're automated or streamlined, these will help build that trust and reduce any friction that may come, or any excuses, or give them any reason to not come to a trial, or not join, or not reach out back to you. So once they feel how easy it is to deal with you, so they're feeling like they've had that information, they know what's coming, then you're already halfway in. Okay, now let's talk about numbers. And I don't want to talk about the scary ones. I want to talk about the simple ones. So many studio owners will tell me that they don't know what's working and what's not. So I will say, where are your leads coming from? What's the conversion rate of getting them through the door? What's your retention rate? Now, that's usually because we're not tracking the right data. But here's the thing, tracking doesn't actually have to be fancy or hard. Let's just start basic, like the four numbers that you need to get started. Where are your leads coming from? So that means, are they Google searching you? Is your website coming up? Like, is your SEO good enough that your website's at the top? Is it referrals? Is it social media? The second one is how many of those book a trial? The third one is how many of those trials convert to a full enrollment? And then how long do they stay with you for? So those four things: attraction, where they're coming from; acquisition, how many have booked a trial; conversion, have they converted from a trial to a full enrollment; and then fourth, how long they're staying, which is your retention. So with just those 4 points, you can see where things are slipping or where things are going really well. So for example, if you're getting lots of trials but not converting, then the issue's not going to be in your messaging. It's not going to be in your marketing. It's most probably the experience when they're in the classroom for that trial, which could be the way the class is set up. It could be the teacher. There's a few things, but what you can do is identify that and then go deeper into what that is actually saying. The data is actually telling you. And if people aren't staying long, then there's a retention or an onboarding issue. And once you know what's not working, that's when you can tweak it with intention and not just keep throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that something sticks. And I get it because it feels like there's so much to do all the time, which there absolutely is. And sometimes our back-end systems are messy, but things work well enough, but they're just clunky. And so I'm just trying to encourage you to sort that out so it isn't clunky. So here's what I see often. Studio owners are spending money on Facebook ads only to direct people to an outdated form or an inbox that doesn't get checked daily. Now, Facebook ads are a tricky one, and I am going to be the first to sit here and tell you I am not an expert. I always am taking on the advice and guidance of my friend Sally Prendergast, who does specific Facebook training and ads for studio owners. And she will tell me often how fast things are changing. And so it's our responsibility, if you are doing it yourself, to stay in front of all that information. And it's annoying, I get it, and to be able to take that on. But it's not worth just doing what you know that's not working, because you're going to then be spending money that's not giving you an ROI. So invest in something like information or support with someone who actually knows what they're talking about. And even like courses that you might have bought in the past, it changes so fast. Like the data, it just changes. So I highly recommend just like whether it's educating yourself, keeping in front of that, or having someone to support you to do that. I highly recommend. I often see trial classes that feel disorganized. So whether that's in the classroom, it's chaos because, this poor teacher, or maybe it's yourself, has all these children who have never been there before and they're, crazy, having a great time, but there's no structure, but also no follow-up afterwards. So I see that often as well. And another thing that I see is payment systems that make it really hard for people to say yes. So remember that the quote, "A confused mind says no." It's the same when it comes to setting up payments. I even know for myself, if I'm buying something online and I get to a point in the sale and it's saying, just answer this question, and if I have to go and find the answer for that and then it sends me to another page, I'll close it down and I'll find it elsewhere. It's the same for parents who are trying to pay for us. So just make that really simple, easy for them. So it's just an easy yes. This is like basically a version of mopping the floor while the sink is still overflowing. But before you spend money to get more people in the door, you just must make sure that the experience that they walk into is smooth, it's simple, and it's clear. So where can we start? Let's start by auditing your systems. Is your sign-up process easy? Is your trial experience memorable? Are families followed up quickly? And can they pay easily? So if you just, over the next couple of weeks, fix those 4 things, then you will see a change in the way your studio works. And then basically, then you move into level 2. So if those 4 things are happening, you move into level 2. This is the start of the scaling process. This is how you truly grow. Now, and if you're listening to this thinking, yes, this all makes sense, but when do I have time to do this? You're not alone. And so this is exactly where automation and support comes in. So like I mentioned before, getting support with Facebook ads, it's the same if you're setting up a simple email sequence or using a tool to track your leads or handing off some of the admin. This doesn't have to be another thing for you to do alone. And so this is also part of the reason that I created the Dance AI membership. So I have built out these 12 custom GPTs. So if you use ChatGPT, this is like all your dreams come true, because these 12 custom GPTs have been built specifically for dance studio owners. They've been educated and trained to know exactly how the dance industry works. And for those who are looking to go even deeper, so maybe you've gone from level 1, you've got those systems all sorted, you're ready to go into the next level and start the scaling process, that's where the support of the mastermind might be for you. Because once we're in there, we start looking at the whole funnel, we start looking at back-end systems and what needs to shift for real growth. But ultimately, the less time that you spend stuck in the admin chaos, the more time you can spend leading your studio and loving your life. And if you want more information about the Dance AI membership or the Dance Studio Scaled Mastermind, just message me and I'll send you through the info via Instagram DM. All right, let's recap. If your student numbers aren't growing the way you want, let's look under the marketing. We're going to start with your messaging. Does it speak to the right people? Look at your enrollment system. Is it clear, simple, and consistent? Track your numbers so you know what's actually working and what's not. Next is to fix the back end. Before spending more to bring new people in, you need to have that stuff working in the back end. And don't be afraid to get help or ask for support, because you don't have to build this alone. All right, that is it from me today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you that do listen to these episodes. And if you've loved it or you've had some sort of light bulb moment, please send me a message. I love hearing how you're implementing these strategies into your studio. And if you want to know more about the Dance AI membership or the mastermind, just send me a DM and I can get that info sent through to you. I'm going to catch you next week with another episode. Again, it's going to be packed with tools and insights to help you build a studio that scales without the stress. I'll chat with you soon. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other studio owners who would love it too. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Jen Dalton for more tips, insights, and behind-the-scenes moments to help you simplify and scale your studio. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking action. I'll see you back here soon.